This is KGW News at Sunrise.
People are forced from their homes by a wildfire that's burning this morning on the Washington side of the Columbia across from Hood River. We'll let you know how much this fire has grown since it started yesterday morning, coming up in our top story.
And there is a heat advisory expected in most of our viewing area tomorrow and Wednesday. Rod Hill has the latest forecast so you can prepare for the high temps.
This is the middle of the 4th of July weekend, by the way, and we are celebrating the 4th of July in Molalla this morning at the site of the Molalla Buckaroo.
Best name ever, the Buckaroo.
There are the rodeo grounds on this Monday morning. The rodeo started Saturday. They have another rodeo performance tonight and then 2 more tomorrow in honor of the 4th of July. So Eric Patterson is out there live for us this morning. Pretty quiet out there right now, but some activity expected to take place here in the 6 o'clock hour. Before we get to that, should we get to this guy, Mr. Rodney Hill?
We begin with the live camera that's out at Cathedral Ridge Winery. This is in Hood River, and if you look right across the Columbia, it's had a view of that wildfire smoke since it started yesterday. Again, this is the Tunnel 5 fire, and Drew and Christine have more on that coming up. At least this morning, winds have calmed in the gorge. According to all the reports I have, Hood River reports an early morning temperature of 63. It will be a west to northwest breeze through there, continuing today and picking up this afternoon. Meanwhile, it is beautifully clear. Look at that from the Wells Fargo camera, 61 degrees. Here's our day. We were in the mid 80s over the weekend. Today, you'll notice it heating up. 76 degrees at noon. I had the forecast high all the way up to about 90 this afternoon. Here's Chris.
All right, Rod, picking up on your talk there about the Tunnel 5 fire. We do have a road closure, of course. SR 14 near milepost 61 closed because of the fire response around that. So I-84 obviously is going to be your workaround. Locally, roads are light. I-84 out near the Providence Medical Center there on the east side. That looks pretty good. Door number 2 showing I-5 towards Wilsonville. Again, light commute on the freeways so far, guys.
All right, Chris, thank you for that update. Now back to our top story this morning, the wildfire that's burning in the gorge. The Tunnel 5 fire has forced businesses and homeowners to evacuate near Underwood in Skamania County. That is just west of White Salmon.
Yeah, our Devin Haskins is live near Underwood, right where SR 14 is shut down. And Devin, what is the latest you can tell us about that wildfire this morning?
Yeah, good morning, Christine. Good morning, Drew. Right now here, SR 14 shut down for 10 miles from milepost 53 to milepost 63. As of last night around midnight, the latest update from Washington DNR. This fire, about 315 acres. This fire crews continue to fight the fire overnight. As we were driving in from Portland, we had to take the Hood River Bridge to get across because of that closure. You can see visible flames. You can see visible hot spots on the Washington side of the gorge there where this Tunnel 5 fire has started. The fire started just before 11:30 Sunday morning, burning quickly through brush and trees. Washington State quickly immobilizing state resources to help the small fire departments out here. Multiple airplanes were called in and seen dipping Sunday into the Columbia River for water and also dropping fire retardant on the flames. About 100 homes, outbuildings, and businesses threatened by this fire. Skamania County sent out a reverse 911 call to those living here to evacuate, even sending law enforcement door to door to tell them that they need to leave now. The Red Cross opening an emergency shelter at the Skamania County Fairgrounds.
We have a lady with a couple of horses came in, so we got them set up and got them some hay.
A reporter last night said that they saw a few people taking advantage. As you said, they set up some people with some horses with some hay, but a couple of people taking advantage of that emergency shelter. Right now, the State Department of Natural Resources saying that they're going to send more resources out today. As far as the cause of the fire, that cause is still under investigation. The fire right now, 0% contained. For now, we're live across from Hood River in Underwood. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Devin, we'll check back in with you here later on Sunrise. Meanwhile, fire investigators believe fireworks may have caused another wildfire that sparked over the weekend along the Oregon coast in Lincoln County. So this fire started around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon south of Waldport and forced level 3 go now evacuation orders. But the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office lifted those orders around 7 o'clock last night. The fire drew a huge response from Central Oregon Coast Fire and Rescue as it burned dangerously close to some beach homes and cottages. Highway 101, by the way, is back open this morning after it was shut down by this fire for a few hours on Sunday.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek is giving her thoughts on the recent legislative session, one that included the longest walkout ever in the legislature's history. Despite the 6 weeks delay, lawmakers passed a lot of bills, including House Bill 2645, which increased penalties for people in possession of more than a gram of fentanyl. But many still died on the floor, like House Bill 3414. It would have cut red tape to get housing developments built faster and allowed cities to quickly expand their urban growth boundaries by up to 150 acres. Kotek championed that bill as part of her big push to add 36,000 housing units a year.
And on the day of the floor, I thought we would pass the bill. We didn't. That happens. That doesn't mean we aren't coming back on the topic.
The governor did not rule out calling for a special session to try again on that bill.
All right, weather is another one of our big topics this morning because temperatures will get near 100 degrees in the Willamette Valley here over the next 2 days. As of this morning, Multnomah County is not planning to open cooling centers and shelters this week. Meanwhile, doctors we spoke with say it's important to stay in shady areas, drink water, limit outdoor activities. Of course, these may seem like self-explanatory, no-brainer ideas, but health officials say anyone is susceptible to extreme heat.
I see young, healthy people who are sick from heat all the time in urgent care. What you do see are a lot of dehydrated people, a lot of heat exhaustion and heat stroke.
Young children and the elderly are the most affected and the most impacted when we have heat waves like the one we're about to see, although I'm going to ask Rod Hill right now. I see him pretty perked up when I said the word wave. I guess we should not be calling this a heat wave that's coming our way.
No, we're talking 4 days of hitting. Now,
okay.
If we hit, today we may or may not just get to 90, but I've got 90, 97, 99, 93. So that's a little...
Wave it is.
Yes,
run of
yes.
heat. And then... and of course, the near 100-degree temperatures would both be records if we get to 97 Tuesday and 99 on Wednesday. I brought my forecast sheet out to remind me what the dew points were going to be tomorrow. So yesterday it was 86 degrees. I was out. I was trimming the hedges. I was in the yard. I was an animal yesterday. Got it all done. But I thought, to me, it felt kind of humid out yesterday. So the relative humidity levels, the dew points will be similar as we heat up tomorrow and Wednesday. But of course, the temperatures will be rising, so the relative humidity will be lower. But we're not looking at a dominant east wind flow like we often get when we rise up to 90, which means it's not going to be like desert dry humidity. You'll feel it in the air. So I think if we get up to around 100 degrees, it's going to be a fairly humid net 100 for us, if you will. All right, here's that heat advisory map. If you haven't seen this, it includes for tomorrow and Wednesday all of western Oregon, except it does not include the immediate coast areas. Breezes will be from the west. And up in Washington, it does not include Cowlitz County, it stops in Clark County, some cooling west winds all along the Columbia River. These two red areas, and this one's new, that's a fire weather watch that is up for parts of southwest Washington. Of course, that's in part in response to that fire burning out in Skamania County right now. Okay, so Albany to Vancouver, the hottest days will be tomorrow and Wednesday with the heat advisory in play. 94 to 98 range tomorrow, 95 to 100 degree range on Wednesday. The Coast Range, Cascade Foothills also in the advisory areas. Both days will be between 88 and 95. I mentioned winds are going to be west-northwest. Here we are this morning. The fact that the winds are west-northwest, we're not going to get any of that Skamania County fire smoke into the valley. All the smoke will continue drifting off to the east. Now here's the afternoon hours today. 22, 17, 18, more of a typical afternoon breeze continuing that we have been seeing. You know, the afternoons lately, if you think about it, yeah, the winds have been blowing. They've been bouncing up to about 20 or 25 miles per hour. That will happen again today and tomorrow, probably on Wednesday. 61, we are perfectly clear out there right now. 41 in Newport, 66 out in the Dalles, and 44 in Baker City. Here come my updated 7-day forecast numbers. 90, 97, 99, 93, and then back into the mid-80s on Friday and Saturday. And that is your forecast for now. Drew, you've got kind of a sad story coming up, I want to say, right?
Well, of course, people coast to coast will call this the 4-day-long 4th of July holiday weekend. But Blazers fans will remember this weekend as the weekend that Damian Lillard asked to be traded. It's been talked about for years, right? How long will Damian stay in Portland while the team fails to contend for a championship? Well, the trade request is in. What does that mean for the team? Where could Dame land? We're going to cover all those topics coming up here in just a minute on Sunrise.
But first, a quick reminder. Did you know you can watch Sunrise anytime you'd like on KGW+? All of our news is on Roku and Amazon Fire. All you got to do is look for KGW, add us right to your home screen, and then it's super easy to stream Sunrise on your schedule.